Hello guys and welcome to Omi's Tech Bar, and today I'm gonna present a tutorial on how to overclock your Pentium G3258. I have the Gigabyte B85M motherboard, and if you guys are going for a low budget gaming rig, these two are bang for a buck. Your Pentium's unlocked, which means it can be overclocked easily above 4 GHz without any extra struggle. But if you guys are going for a massive overclock that is above 4.5 gigs, I recommend you guys to use a Z motherboard such as Z97, because these low budget motherboards like H81 or B85 are not made to handle massive overclocks. Z97 motherboards do handle massive overclocks very efficiently. So what you guys require for overclocking? First of all, you require patience. You require a lot of patience to overclock. You need to ensure your system's stability after you have overclocked your processor. You have to run the stress test for 7 to 8 hours at least to ensure that your system is good for daily use and it will not give any problem further. Second, you require your software toolkit. In software toolkit, you have a stress test application such as IDA64, Prime 95, Intel Burn, etc. I do recommend using IDA64 because it gives you all-in-one utilities such as benchmark. You can see the various tools over here: disk benchmark, monitor diagnostics, system stability test, etc. Second, you require CPU-Z. CPU-Z gives you various information on your system, such as what processor are you using, what motherboard are you using, what's your core speed, your multiplier, and etc. Third, you require real temp. Real temp is used to measure your processor's temperature while in idle state and while your processor is under 100% load. It measures your load, your core speed, and as well as your temperature. Fourth, you require CPU ID SW monitor. You need to keep an eye on your system's temperature, such as motherboard temperature, processor temperature, graphics card temperature, and etc. If the motherboard's temperature goes above 60 degrees Celsius, it can prove risky for your motherboard and your processor as well. So I do recommend using CPU ID SW monitor to keep an eye on your motherboard. And you require to update your BIOS. If you guys are Gigabyte users, I have a link in the description below where I have made a video on how to update your Gigabyte motherboard BIOS using a pen drive. So without any further discussion, I will go into the BIOS and start playing around. And I do recommend manually overclocking my processor besides automatic overclocking, because in automatic overclocking it allocates extra voltage to your processor, which can heat things up a bit. Keep pressing the delete button till you enter into the BIOS. Like this, you see various tabs here: MIT, system information, BIOS features, and etc. We are currently working in MIT. You can use your keyboard's arrow keys to scroll in between different options, side arrow keys to switch between different tabs, and in MIT, go to advanced frequency settings, click on enter. Go to advanced CPU core settings, click on enter, and first option you see is the CPU clock ratio. It is set at 32, that is you are on 3.2 GHz, that is the base clock ratio of your processor. And dial in manually by using your numpad 41. Most of the Pentiums can easily go above 4 GHz, as I said before, without any extra struggle. And go directly into uncore ratio, and in the right hand side corner there is a note given that you have to set the uncore ratio equal to or higher than the CPU clock ratio. Well, no, I don't think so. If you guys want a massive overclock, leave the uncore ratio alone at 33, because if you raise the uncore ratio, it can be problem. It's not that stable if you raise the uncore ratio. I do recommend setting it at 33. There is no use of setting it above clock ratio. That's it. You have to set these two things, and sorry, one more thing, three things. KOC, you have to enable it. That's it. You have to set these three things in the advanced frequency settings. Now press escape again, and now go to advanced voltage settings. Voltage is the key to a successful overclock. I repeat, voltage is the key to a successful overclock. You need to play around with your voltage to achieve stability. Now see the first option, you have the CPU VRIN voltage. You can leave it on auto or you can manually dial in 1.8 volts, depends on you. I do recommend setting it on auto. Second, you have the CPU V core. This is the most important part of an overclock. As I said before, in the earlier versions of BIOS, the CPU V core limit was 1.2 volts, and if you try to raise it above 1.2 volts, that is if you even raise it by 0.001, it did go back to auto, but in the latest version you can raise it all the way up to 1.5 or 6 volts, I think so. So we will start from 1.2 volts. If you guys run into a bad overclock, that is if you crash your system while stress testing, come back into BIOS, go to advanced voltage settings, CPU core voltage control, and keep incrementing the voltage by 0.005 until you achieve stability. Yeah, you have to do this every time your system crashes, because the system crashes because the processor doesn't gain that much voltage from the motherboard. So you have to increment it by 0.005 until you achieve stability. If you crash after 4 to 5 hours, then you are very close. You just need to increment it by 0.005, and if you guys crash after 1 or 2 hours, yeah, you need to work on it a little bit. So we'll start from 1.2 volts, and this is it. Leave everything else on auto. I repeat, if you guys don't know anything about these options, I recommend you not to mess around with it, as it can prove risky for your processor as well as your motherboard. Press escape again, and now go to save and exit tab, and now save your profile. I have already overclocked my Pentium 2 times at 4.1 gigs and the 4.4 gigs, so I will save it as 4.1 new. Press enter again, and now save and exit. And if it boot into the Windows, it's a good option that you have passed the initial stage. Let us see what happens. Oops, sorry, I pressed the delete button by mistake, and I will load my profile again and save and exit. Now see, let us see what happens. I think it will definitely boot into Windows because I did test at 4.1 gigs before. Yeah, see, it's a good sign. Yeah, if you boot into Windows, you have passed the initial stage of overclocking. Now when it goes into the desktop, start the stress testing immediately. And I'm not saying you have to run it for 24 hours straight, but 7 to 8 hours is fine, just to ensure that yeah, you can use your system daily without any problem. Let us see, it's taking a lot of time. I don't know why it is taking a lot of time, because it never took this much time before. Go into the desktop and start that stress test, and open these 4 softwares as well, because you need to keep an eye on your CPU's core clock, just to make sure that yeah, you have overclocked it, and it will show you 4090 point something megahertz. It will not show you 41 because your burst speed is at 99.76 megahertz. It is not 100 megahertz. So it will show you 4090 point, let us see, come on, yeah, see, 4090.24 megahertz. And you have to run the stress test until you have not crashed your system. And let us see, let's take a look on temperatures. And I have a different cooler, so I'm not using a stock cooler, because the temperatures on stock cooler go easily beyond 80 degrees Celsius, and it's absolutely fine. If you guys are using stock cooler, it is absolutely fine. But if the temperatures go above 90 degrees Celsius, yeah, you have to worry a little bit. You have to lower your overclock a little bit. Keep an eye on the temperatures, and keep an eye on your motherboard's temperature as well. Right now it is at 40 degrees Celsius, and yeah, it's fine. If the things go above 60 degrees, you have to worry a little bit. And this is it, guys. You have to run the stress test for 7 to 8 hours just to make sure that you can run your system without any problem daily. So guys, thank you for watching. Keep liking, keep subscribing, and stay tuned for more videos. If you guys have any problem regarding overclocking, please comment in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to help you out.